$966 million was the verdict for Mae Moore. Last night, actually went into this morning, October 7th, for a talcum powder verdict. Mae Moore passed away, and it was attributed to the regular use of talcum powder. And all of the ailments and cancers were attributed and proven out in court to be a direct result, holding Johnson & Johnson accountable for their shower product. And it's around $16 million of compensatory damages. That's to cover the medical and the death and everything that way. And $950 million of punitive. Now, why punitive? What is happening? Why would you really look at punitive damages? Well, you're really trying to make a statement when you're the jury at that point and figuring out whether or not this is going to make a material impact in the Johnson & Johnson's pocketbook, so to speak, to hold them accountable, so that when they put profits over people or they start sacrificing safety in an effort to make more sales, are they going to be punished for this? Now, again, this will likely be appealed, and you're going to have a situation where that won't be the money that goes to Mae Moore's family. Unfortunately, that's just how that works. But the idea is still there. Look, Johnson & Johnson knew they had asbestos in talcum powder. Asbestos. You know that stuff that causes mesothelioma and cancers and all sorts of bad stuff? That was in talcum powder. And Johnson & Johnson knew. And they didn't disclose it because it was under a certain threshold, and they were trying to make an argument that basically, look, if it's in a certain threshold, you don't have to say anything, you don't have to really alert anybody. And oh, by the way, the communities that use this on a daily basis, we can still sell it to them. They're going to still need to use this culturally, right? My mother used it. My grandmother used it. My kids use it. I use it every day. That's how I feel clean. And now you have a situation where you're actually doing a disservice to entire communities of people, and women are getting sick. And this lawsuit is still going on a national scale, on a national level, because they're arguing over semantics and how much money is going to be attributed for an average woman who has ovarian cancer or mesothelioma and all sorts of nasty, nasty afflictions caused by the baby powder, by the talcum powder. So now what happens, right? This can be a cautionary tale in a future business class that talks about how you should be held accountable. And if you're going to do the bad thing, you better make sure your sales outweigh the lawsuits, because you might be slapped with $950 million punitive damage on multiple lawsuits. We're talking there have been multi-million dollar verdicts now, and this is $966 million. 16 million for really the loss of life to that poor family, Mae Moore, and then $950 million to punish Johnson & Johnson for what they did. Well, let's keep looking out for this, because there's actually hopefully going to be a hastened settlement soon. I don't think Johnson & Johnson wants to keep losing these cases at a high scale. So hopefully they can pay a fair settlement value. I'm trying to be politically correct as much as possible for the individual women who were hurt, because this has to be resolved soon. And it's a big win. This is a big win for the Moore family, and I'm hoping that this helps. I mean, look, loss of life can never have a value on there, but this helps. And this helps try and get some voice to the voiceless, right? If you lost a loved one, God forbid, or if you were actually afflicted with this, you want to punish the entity that allowed this to happen, especially since they knew. All right. Love you guys. Stay safe.